This is it. This is the official start. I just got off the train. Mont Blanc golf course. And yeah, first few steps of a 10-day trip. So it's all about to begin. Just over halfway, day one. It's feeling good. Uphill for sure today. I mean, I came from down there in the valley just behind me. So it's been primarily uphill today. Still a climb to go. All right, got about 30 minutes in the rain now, but I'm getting close to a shelter. Have all my gear on, might not stop. It's cold rain. Everything feels fine. I have the pants on, I have the jacket on. So the hands are cold. Everything else is fine. Shoes are not waterproof. Feet will be wet. Getting close to camp, so none of that really matters. Life is good. Can't let a little rainstorm stop you out here. Check this out. You guys are in France, I'm in Switzerland. I've officially taken the train from Switzerland all the way into France and taken the last 4 hours to walk my way back to Switzerland. Time to keep heading east. I just got to make it a little bit higher up there. And that's it. That's the last climbing for the day. I start heading downhill. So legs are feeling fine though. I mean, I have a lot of time to do the hike. It hasn't been too long. So the rain actually feels pretty good. All's good. Major hailstorm right now. Picking up in intensity by the minute. Started as a little rainstorm. Luckily I started getting my rain gear on when it was still light. Because now it's pretty heavy hail. Oh my God. Coming to the bitter end of day one. It's all flat. We made it up and over that glacier nearly with some hail involved. So good stuff. Hot meals to come. Stoked to finish the first day. Yesterday was a pretty fun day. Turned out to be a little bit of a challenge at the top with the hail and everything. But today is freaking insane. We're like right next to the glacier. There's glacier melt coming down everywhere. A lot of times on the trail, we're crossing little areas like this. Sometimes we're having to hold on to a rope. Yeah, we have to go up around that glacier. We're actually gonna be above it at some point, I believe, and cross that peak. And then a steep descent on the other side. We came from way up there. And now we're way down here. But the last time we were able to fill up our water before we stopped seeing it was about 3 hours ago, maybe more. So we've been rationing until now. We just found a freaking beautiful crystal clear stream. So we're about to load up. It's amazing. This is the first time I've really had that need for water in a hike, and it feels good. All right, morning day 3. More sore than yesterday for sure. And it is a super short day. I'm gonna get to a campsite in like 4 hours. So I'll be at a campsite by noon. I got a bus out of this little town. Pretty much just gonna straight shot it to my day 3 destination. Get there, charge up some stuff, eat lunch, and potentially go stay in the forest tonight. So we'll see. Well, day 3 seems pretty easy so far. I started out with a little descent that was tough on the knees, but so far I'm just traversing across this mountain. I'm actually gonna go all the way down into the valley below me right now. Then I have to go around that one to the back of that one, and I think somewhere again where there's snow, because tomorrow night I will be reaching about 10,000 feet, if not more, and I'll be going all the way down into the valley today, which is much below that. So tomorrow is a huge climb, but right now pretty easy walking, not too hot outside, pretty nice views, not like yesterday with the glacier and the mountains, although that was very difficult walking and climbing. So just gotta enjoy the rest day, maybe put a few miles past my stop point today to cut into tomorrow's adventure. But yeah, so far so good. Day 3, I'm still able to walk. My feet aren't too sore. All the equipment's working fine, and we're gonna continue on. Ah, there we go. That's a pretty cool vending machine right there. Cheese and sausage. I got lunch today. Oh man. It's not the prettiest lake in the world, but it's just as cold as the others. It feels good. All right, I'm leaving camp before sunrise this morning. I have 8,000 feet of elevation to do, combined with 1,000 feet of descent, I think, at the end. Gotta say goodbye to my donkey friends. As long as the weather's right, I can take, gonna just slow and steady it, but I wanted to get a nice early start, so. It's a good thing I started in the morning. For the last 30 minutes, I've been walking straight up this mountain bike path, and it's like straight up, around this corner of this rig, and then up above that. And then once I get up above that, I'm certainly gonna see a grand challenge in front of me. Feeling pretty good right now. Well, the legs aren't. I've knocked out 1,800 feet in the last hour and 15 minutes. Where I'm going is far above this. So, most difficult day of the trip, for sure. Luckily, I started early. I was just waking up this time yesterday. So, we're out of the forest, onto the spine of this little hill. Going, I guess, up the spine all the way to there. Just filled up some water at a farm. The storm was rolling in, and I was about to have to tackle a difficult part. It didn't look like I was going to be able to set up my tent anywhere in the next hour on the trail. So I had a flat spot. I took it. Yeah, the weather. I mean, it just changed like in an instant. Storm was over my head. Got me pretty cold. I guess that's my 30-minute break. So I'll try to make some more ground. I got pretty cold there after breaking down the tent. The wind was still really strong, and yeah, the temperature has dropped because it just rained a lot. Fields of rubble that have fallen down from the mountain. You gotta just kind of scatter across those. One coming up over there. Boulder field, pretty cool. At least it's flat. Pretty crazy looking. And we continue into the rocks. This is absolutely wild. This day has been. I made it to the Col Telmine. It's 2648. It's 2,648 meters high, about 8,000 feet up. On my way up here for about 6 hours, and I can finally see the other side. Sadly, I have about 6 hours to go. It's gonna be a 12-hour day. This is turning out to be the challenge of a lifetime. I'd like to make it where I need to go. It's just difficult. It's getting fairly mountainous. There's still grass, no more trees. I'm passing quite a lot of areas where there's a chain against a wall and you kind of have to, you have room to walk, but you definitely want to hold on to the chain just for safekeeping. But it's beautiful. I mean, it's not snowy, it's not a forest, but it's pretty darn cool to walk through for sure. Woo, woo. I made it to another mountain pass, now at 29-21. After the first mountain pass, and now I get to do a little snow crossing. Oh, we got a river crossing to take care of real quick. Oh no. I saw one person today, one farmer, earlier when I was in the farmland. And then I haven't seen anyone else. It's been super quiet, super nice, but I have to camp up here somewhere in these rocks, or hopefully I make it up and over to a lake. And luckily I just bumped into two people. Even though it's a cool feeling to be the only one out here, it's also a bit of a helpless feeling. So I think they'll be pitching up, at least within eyesight of me tonight. Today has been one of the longest days of my life, with some of the most rewarding views though. I mean, there's two people behind me, but other than that, I mean, I have this lake and this view all to myself. If I shut my mouth, you literally cannot hear a thing. You can hear a little bit of the water trickling, a tiny bit of wind, but it's nearly dead silence. I don't know why that ice and snow is pink behind me, but it's freaking pink. It's pretty cool. I need to sum up the day really quick. I made it to my destination. I'm at 2,987 meters. I finally have the 360 view, and it's unbelievable. I love it, but that was it. I mean, this is the biggest day hiking of my life by far. When it started raining, and I threw my rain cover and my tarp down and put up my tent halfway, I was like, if this doesn't pass, I'm just gonna sleep here. And that was like 5 hours ago. So I've made a lot of ground. I'm actually at my destination. Put about an hour and 15 minutes downhill is a cabin, and I'll see if they have an open room, or I'll at least camp next to their cabin. There's two of them. I saw one earlier. Now I'm seeing one. This is the different type. This is the bigger type. So cool. As I said before, today was my longest day. As if that weren't enough, where I was supposed to stop up on the summit, there was no camping. 15, I got to the cabin and they told me they didn't have space, which was fine. Also, it's a wildlife refuge, so I cannot sleep next to the cabin, otherwise the rangers will come in the morning and give me a $200 fine. My best option was to go up and over the next mountain. I have completed that. I am now well into day 5 of my trip. On day 4, I did have a beer at that cabin. I had a tall boy, actually, so 16 ounces of Pilsner got me up the hill, and they'll get me down this one as well. It continues. Trying to find a good place. I mean, there are places, but actually down here just next to the lake, there's some flat spots. I have to descend a little bit more, and then I'll be fine. I should be there in about 15 minutes. But what a freaking day it has been. And most of this morning as well. But he's pretty cool, dude. Hey there, partner. He's got a pretty nice place to live. All right, I'm leaving the camping from night 4 of my trip. The first 3 nights I stayed in just some camping places for people doing trails. But last night I stumbled across this refuge, but it's closed for COVID, and there was a tent set up there, so I popped my tent up there, which was perfect. I'm glad I kept walking. Saw those guys this morning, and I'm off to continue the journey. Just ahead of me there, I have the Grand Dixence Dam, which is why this lake is here. That puppy busts, and all of this lake drains out. All of the towns, like where I live right now, get completely flushed out. So they have alarms throughout the cities in the valley in case the Grand Dixence busts. Fun fact for the day. I'm finishing my first leg of the journey today, which is just the lake. It's been super, super beautiful, but just flat. It's really nice. Basically just warming up the legs. And just after I get to the end of this, I have to do about a 1,700 foot climb, which will put me up at the glacier. That right there is all of the glacier melt coming down from the mountain. And it's significantly colder here. For one thing, I'm in the shadow, but also because all that water moving creates a little breeze in this part of the cove. But sounds pretty cool. It's a ton of water creating a big current. Little snack break at the lake. Where I'm walking to is Cabin de Dice, where I'm gonna cross the glacier. And apparently this was the original from 1908 to 1928. Looks like we're about to say goodbye to the lake. Maybe we'll have another view of it when we get up higher. Still have about 1,000 feet to go. All right, another landmark for the trip. Made it to my highest point for the day. I'm nearly 10,000 feet again. I'm like 2,940 meters. There's the cabin I'm going to just behind me. That's the glacier I'm crossing right there. All right, I got my soup in me. I got a big lemonade in me. And now, time to do a little glacier crossing. And then I get to do some ladders because you have to go up some sheer walls at some point. I was wondering why on the map that it looked like the glacier was huge down here and I didn't see it. It's all rocks, when in fact, this is all ice, glacier, just underneath the rocks. So everything I'm about to walk over is glacier, which is pretty interesting. Freaking amazing. I've successfully crossed 2 rivers in this glacier. I mean, I know what they say, you can do it solo for sure. Little knee knocker, jumping across those rivers for sure. I guess it would spit you out just down there in that pond if you were to fall into it. But that would be a bad day for sure. This is a climb. This is a climb like straight up. The ladders are behind me, which you can use to take the pass. So we'll go over that way. Now I know why they call this one the Pass du Chèvre, which is the pass of the goat, because it's really brutal. And then right here you actually have to use the ladders. So the old ladders are actually on the other side and look extremely difficult, but they have new ones that aren't so bad. So we'll give it a go. Knees and feet shaking. I made it up the ladders. I don't know if the video does it justice. When you look down at your feet, you see straight through the grates that are below you and straight to the bottom. Only about an hour and 30 minutes from the town, which I will be reaching tonight. This will be the first time since Chamonix, the camping I did before I started my brutal climb yesterday, that I'll be anywhere near civilization, other than a few mountain cabins I've passed. This is my first time seeing anything other than a mountain cabin in about 2 days. I know that I'll be back up in the mountains tomorrow. I like being up there, that's the point of the trip. So it's a small town, but it's a town. All right, back at it again. Day 6, second half of the trip begins. Cold once again. And if I were to imagine, today I'll be back up in the peaks again. Just a little bit more walking. All right, that's another ridge line to put in the distance. Cross that one a few times, come all the way down to the valley, and go all the way back up over another one today. Here is your traditional Swiss mountain chalet, and they rest on these stones. Now, Switzerland is susceptible to minor earthquakes, so I know that that could be one reason, so it allows the house to shift a little bit. But I've also heard that it is to stop the mice and rats from being able to get into the house, because they take their doorsteps up at night, and then the only way up to the house would be up that piece of wood, the pillar, but then they hit a 90-degree angle at the rock and there's no way they can get around it. So I don't know if it works for both or if it's just for one of the reasons. I'm not sure, but that's a traditional Swiss house. All right, I have a nice little view where I came from today. Those mountains in the background is where I descended yesterday, and then the road that runs all the way deep into that valley is where I slept last night. So starting the climb back into the next mountain pass. I can now see, you know, what I'm looking at, more of that rocky stuff, and that's what happens when you get up around 2,500, 2,800, 3,000 meters. But it will be pretty interesting. I'm gonna get back into the rocks, probably see some lakes pretty soon, and once I reach the summit, I'll have a 360 view, which is what it's all about. I just passed up a pretty good swimming hole opportunity, but I'm camping at a lake tonight. But this one is pretty beautiful. I saw 2 people swimming in it. One guy's just kind of doing the frog paddle across it as I'm trudging uphill, and I was envious for sure. But like I said, a lake is in my near future as well. Whew. Back in the rock gardens once again. Up above tree line for sure. Now there's only some flowers and a little bit of grass growing. But very, very close to the goal. We got another glacier sighting. I was wondering if I was gonna see a bunch of snow being up this high, but there it is right there. So I'm going to stay at a lake just below, and I guess I'll have a nice view of that glacier all night. Check this out. I'm getting the double whammy right now. I got the freaking awesome glacier behind me, and then just ahead, I have the crystal clear, at least looking, lake. This is a glacier lake, as in just above. There's a dam below us. That lake is huge. This is a tiny one that leads into the dam. So this is the fresh stuff. I'm sitting right next to some black silt right now, so it's probably like 50 degrees. But I know when I get out there a little bit deeper, it's gonna be very, very, very cold. All right, morning day 7 has officially begun. 4 days left, and I'll be there. Not too difficult of a day. I have to go over one mountain pass, 3,000 feet from here, and then a big descent. Well, there's a cow blocking my route, so I guess he's not moving. So that would be me that does the moving. Healthy little climb from camp this morning. Feels good to get moving. You warm up and all the soreness in your feet and your calves goes away. I got one job, make it to Zanal. If I can do that, I'm a happy camper. The morning clothes, the jacket and the windbreaker pants come off pretty quickly after you start hiking. Just getting to the end of the lake, and dam is just below me now. I gotta put some pep in my step. I got someone coming up the other side of the mountain. We're having a race to the top. I don't think he knows we're having a race. He's coming up, no gear though, and he's a big time runner, so I get a bit of a head start. Yep, I passed this dam, and then from there, I think I just start climbing directly up to get to my mountain pass today. All right, it's another mountain pass. Not a huge one. Yeah, it's another one climbed. All right, I ended up winning the race up to the top, but he was just behind my surprise visitor, Michelle, the one that helped me look at my route and make sure that it wasn't too dangerous for me.
So it's normal he came first because I have 2 broken legs and I have a 60-kilo backpack.
Yeah.
So it was difficult for me, and he only had 5 kilometers going up. I had 25. So
yeah. Something like that. We'll look at the stats once we get back down. All right, that's that. We can cross day 7 off the list for me. Thanks for the company halfway through for Michelle. However, he did not ride me in his car and he didn't carry my backpack any of the time, of course.
He just took the camera out when he got out of the car just right now.
Yeah. Thank you for that. All right, it is officially morning day 8. I am in Zanal. I will be hiking up and over the ridge line to the right of me, hit about 2,800 meters again, descend into the next mountain valley, and then hopefully make it halfway up or more up the next ridge line. So big day in elevation and somewhat of a big day in descent as well. Got to get into it to find out. Here we go. Finally made it through the first forest line today. It was a steep forest line. A lot of trekking poles above the head. Pulling up and up and up. Yeah, the town's below me now. A little bit done and a lot to go. Little change of scenery again. Back in the rock gardens once again. That's that. Leg 1 of 3 complete for the day. I've had my lunch. Now all I have to do is descend and then climb halfway back up. 100th or more one of these that I've been through, but I figured I'd explain it. That is an electric fence. If you touch that, you're guaranteed to get shocked. It doesn't feel terrible, but it doesn't feel great. And then for the farmer, he must kindly remake your electric fence for the cows. And what that means, I don't know if you can hear, is that I'm now in a pasture. I got eyes on the little old town of Gruben down there. That will be stage 2 complete. After that, a little climb up there and camp. There are little blueberry bushes all freaking over this trail, and it's awesome. I saw a man a few days ago when I was with Max gathering some, and he said they're blueberries. I took a photo then, and then I just saw a farmer not so long ago gathering some more, and he said they're blueberries. So I've been picking them up, and they're freaking delicious. I love them. They're a little bit sour, just the way I like them. That's that. Had a little lunch in Gruben. Legs are freaking tired. Time to knock out about 600-700 meters of elevation. Didn't take too long to get back up in the mix. Back up in this side of the mountain, headed towards the Ogboard Pass. Won't make it there tonight. Started drizzling a little bit, but that's no problem. Rain gear has been on and off and on and off the last hour and a half, because the sun comes out after these little rainstorms come through, but when it's raining, it's freezing cold, and I have to put it on. I just had to stop for a little water break. I'm getting crazy tired. Morning, day 9. Made it through day 8. I got 2 days left. Did some wilderness camping last night, but I am in a cow pasture. So last night, the cows were down at like 26 right now. So I'm up at like 8,000 feet, and they were down closer to 7,000 feet. And so I was like, okay, that's not a problem. They've picked their place to roam for today. Last night, 11 o'clock, I have the whole group of them. I don't know how many it was, 10, 15, 20 cows probably, all around my tent, all with the bells on their necks. Turn my light on and they're all like putting dents into the rainfly, like poking at my tent. They must want to know what the smell is. I was freaking out. I was like, these guys, it's raining, or ruin my rainfly somehow by. Also, this side of the mountain right here, I don't know if you can see where it's kind of dirt exposed. Obviously you can see that it's all rock, and there were some pretty big rock slides last night. Just having a little collapse, and there were some huge rock slides last night that sounded like thunder, but it's like thunder that doesn't end because it keeps sliding and sliding and sliding and growing. So yeah, pretty interesting night. And there's two little squirrels running around right there. Look at these guys. They're tiny. Packed up, backpacks on, 1,000 feet to go until I reach my last mountain pass of the trip. Sometimes it's not easy to see the path up here in the high mountain. I guess I was supposed to take the lower line. Oh my gosh. I made it to the Arkboard Pass, but it is freaking freezing cold. But this is gonna be my last time for the trip, being up around 3,000 meters, 10,000 feet. I gotta soak it in for just a minute. Bittersweet. My last big climb for the trip. 5,000 feet of descent to knock out for the day on the south side. We're nearly bordering Italy this entire time I've been walking. You know, really the mountain line of the Alps that I've been walking on up and over is also the border of Switzerland and Italy. All right, I don't know if you can see over there, down in the green part, probably looks like salt and pepper to you with the GoPro lens, but there are hundreds and hundreds of sheep down there. I'm glad I'm not walking that way though, because I was told if you get anywhere near them, their protector dog will snap on you, and I don't need that right now. So I actually see a couple of the dogs leading the way right now over there. That's pretty cool. I don't like looking over that edge. I can't say I'm a huge fan of this portion here, as everything to the left of me is extremely steep down. It's a steep descent, but it's really cool. It's so funny how it works in the mountains. Eventually you get tired of it all. I mean, this descent is freaking huge. It just seems like it'll never end, which is funny. Sometimes you just ask, you're just like, oh, I just want to take one section flat, or even a few steps up would be nice. You regret that when you have a huge climb. And even though I've been doing it for 2.5, 3 hours, it's going to continue for the next 2 at least. On the other side of this rock, I'm going to see if you can see it for a second before he runs off. No. He already ran off. Bummer. I've managed to do my descent today. I'm on flat ground, but I'm on flat ground for a couple hours still. Total bonus. I've nearly made it to Ronda. That's all I gotta say. There's nothing interesting happening. The roads are nice, the towns are nice, but it's flat walking, a little bit uphill. All right, here we go. Morning, day 10. We are up. I found a friend to walk my last day with. Yeah, I set up camp in Ronda last night and had some beers, had some food, and we're on our way up. Pretty steep climb. Gonna get up to the bridge today, and then from there I'll finish my trek to Zermatt. So 1 day left. Bittersweet. The Alps are awesome. I'm also ready to stop climbing for one day though. Oh man. I guess this little guy, this little face right here behind me is the telltale sign Alex said that we're right next to the bridge. My nerves are kicking a little bit, actually. I know it's completely safe to walk across, but it's a quarter mile. Oh gosh. It's like a big slide is what it looks like, how it goes down and then back up the other side. This thing is freaking long though. My goodness. All right, I am en route, walking across the Guinness Book of World Records longest pedestrian suspension bridge. It is freaking long. And sometimes you have to pass people, and passing people is not fun. Too much about all these cables and stuff running across, and if anything were to go wrong, but they're super thick cables. They're bolted in like in multiple places on both sides of the mountain, and yeah, Swiss technology is on its game when it comes to bridges and tunnels. So I think we can trust that they wouldn't let people be walking across this thing unless it was ruined. So I got a nice little stride going, and nice little view as well. And there's the other side, so we got a long way to go. Day 10's got some secrets in store. I mean, I knew we were gonna do the bridge, but I didn't know we were gonna be walking across, the cliff lines that I'm a little bit freaked out about. I didn't know we were gonna be walking through tunnels either. But check this out. Okay, it gets dark. Oh, and there's a little light down the way. All right, I'm starting my descent into Zermatt. Matterhorn in the distance, 2 hours and a half, and I've completed my tour, Chamonix to Zermatt. Just hustle down the hill and have some cold beer and some good food in just a bit. The final day has turned out to be more brutal than expected. The bridge was a little bit scary, but cool. The climb up to the bridge was brutal. And some of the trails that we took today were intense. It has not been an easy last day. Actually, I started down in the valley where Zermatt is, and I climbed up into the mountains to take the high ridge here. So I could have walked this morning for about 2.5 hours and been there. Instead, I decided to take the 8.5 hour tour. The trail eventually will get super steep for me, but for right now, it's okay. Zermatt's about 15 minutes down the hill. The Matterhorn is beautifully right between the trees. I'm starting to feel the butterflies of accomplishment, I think. I didn't know how I would feel when I got to the end, because lately it's just been, I'll just keep walking. But once you actually see where you'll stop walking, I think that's when it gets real. I did it. I finished the Walker's Hoot route. I freaking did it. 10 days. It feels absolutely incredible. I don't regret 1 second of that trip. It was tough, brutally tough, but I finished the Walker's Hoot route. With that being said, this is the end of my journey. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Until next time, this trip for the Walker's Hoot route, walking and talking, Out and About TV, is officially over and out.